Hey.
Simultaneous. What's going on, everyone?
How is your Wednesday evening? Well, any evening, any day.
What would make it so much better, regardless of how your day is going? Follow our Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
all of the things, because we finally have kind of an idea for merch. I literally just
We
brought it up
do.
like a millisecond ago before we started, and we did the cute at the same time. So at this point, it's in the bag. At this point, you know what I think? I think meetings should end that way, like work meetings. If
Mm-hmm.
if you ever come with a consensus on something, you'd be like, oh, cute,
Cute.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Then everyone would leave and walk out, not overthinking everything they just said.
exactly. Because if you go, yeah, that's gonna keep me up at night.
100%.
I like
100%. I'll
that.
be thinking about it forever.
We'll circle back next week. It's like,
Mm.
okay, so now I'm gonna be crying myself to sleep until next week. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Heard. Yeah.
How has your week been at work?
So busy.
Oh,
So
oh,
busy.
what? So you were talking to me about the port strike potentially like having a.
Oh, it lifted in like 3 days.
Okay, so it never had any effect on your
No.
import beer or whatever.
No. They came to a consensus pretty quick because honestly, like the impact of it would have been so severe, like more severe and cost them more money than to just give them the raise.
Mm.
So at that point, I guess they just like met either they didn't meet their demands. I think they like came. I don't know what like the actual. I've heard many different numbers, but they came to like a general consensus. Like like both of them came to a compromise. Like I don't think that they accepted the full offer, but they gave them like a great offer they couldn't refuse, kind of
Okay,
thing. So yeah, it was they were on strike for like 3 days. So
that's good. It would have been so many repercussions
oh
for
yeah,
all of our.
yeah, for sure.
Which, like, not to say that they don't have a right for better pay. I feel like I heard something like they postponed it until January, until like after the holidays, and then they were basically giving them those like 3 months to either like meet and agree to their terms or we're gonna go on strike again in January type
Right.
thing.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, oh,
So
perfect.
angry, and I didn't hear anything about that, but like
But I feel like it's in their best interest to like work it out.
you're absolutely right because it would literally like just on top of literally everything else going on in the world, it would not
No,
be a good thing to do.
no.
So, but yeah, my job this week has been incredibly busy. I had a
Mm.
meeting on Tuesday that was supposed to last like maybe an hour tops. It was 3 hours.
About what?
Granted, it was a productive meeting and it was a good meeting, but it was 3 hours and I was like by the end of it my brain was just fried. Um it was basically I have the opportunity and I ended up winning the account to take over the entire menu for a hotel.
Ooh.
So I ended up taking over. They ordered 23 cases to start,
Mm.
and then from there, because it's a historic hotel, so they took it, and the contractor for the hotel, he owns his own construction company. So the contractor was talking to the general manager, and the general manager's from out of state, so he was unfamiliar with Virginia's ABC laws.
Mm.
For those of you who don't know what ABC is, that's our liquor store. So like there's places like Georgia and like other states like they literally just have like mom and pop liquor stores
Mm-hmm.
where you could just walk in, buy a couple bottles and go. Like we don't have that. We have an ABC store and that's the only place that you can buy hard liquor. So or like classified as spirits. So he had no idea anything about ABC law. So he was talking to the contractor and he was like, who do I call? Like, who do I talk to? And he was like, give Brittany a call because the guy who owns the construction company, he also owns a restaurant and I
Mm.
have his entire menu. So he's like, call Brittany. She'll get you, like, she'll walk you through everything. She'll get you hooked up. So this past Friday, we talked on the phone for almost 45 minutes of me just like literally walking him through what to do every like legally with the ABC law And then that next week he was like, I want to meet you, like I want to taste some things. So I'm like, okay. So I got with our wine director and he brought like 10 bottles of different wines. So the guy got to taste all of them. He got to taste some beers that I brought, and like it all in all, it ended up being great. But then it turned into like us getting to know each other, taking a tour of the hotel, tasting things, him asking questions, him having to walk away and come back. So at that point, it was like, yeah, we met at like 11:45, and I didn't leave until almost 3 o'clock, kind of thing.
Jeez.
So it was a lot.
When
It
you
was a
say
lot.
win the account, how do you win it?
So like basically he just agrees. He agrees
Oh,
and places
okay.
an order. So like I mean cuz normally what people do is I kind of have to fight for my spot pretty much
Mm-hmm.
because we are so I'm not going to obviously I keep the company my company private, but we're not as big as the other distributors out there. So it's like, and we don't have any domestics. So like Bud Light, Miller Lite, Yingling, things like that. We only have craft and imports and wine. So like we have to almost fight for our spot and just to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like win them over in a way to be like, hey, we have all of these really cool brands. Like they're not necessarily like they're from all over the country. Like we have all these really cool breweries and really cool brands, whatever. And as soon as it is basically just like a sales pitch, like,
Yeah.
this is what
Like
this is
pick
what
us.
exactly like
Pick
this
me.
pick
Choose me.
love me like yes exactly. So then eventually he was like, Brittany, you've been so helpful, like you've won me over with this whole interaction. He was just like, I trust you, like send me whatever you think it will work. He's like, it's an
Okay.
event for like 2 to 250 people. He's like, just send whatever. He's like, I don't want to think about it. And I said, cool. And I was like, as long as you trust me in my judgment, like I'll send you stuff. He was like, yeah, that's fine. I said, okay. I
Good. Good
said,
for
sounds
you.
good. I know. So yeah, I had that meeting yesterday, and then I had another meeting today that lasted a while. So yeah, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot of meetings, and it's been a lot of like information recall and like having to be on the ball and on top of things and like answering questions like right as he asks them, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gets like it's one of those like drive home in silence kind of days.
Mm.
Like you're all talked out. Like when I got home today, I went and laid in bed and stayed there until it was like 8:20, and I said, "Oh, shoot, Sophia and I are recording in 20 minutes. Let me go make myself a grilled cheese real quick." Like
Oh, was that your dinner grilled
it
cheese?
was grilled cheese and some
Yummy.
strawberry slices.
Okay, Miss Healthy.
Miss 5 years old.
I know it does sound like a child's lunch.
Literally the dinner of a toddler, but hey, it was quick, easy, and the strawberries were already pre-cut, washed, everything. So I just went back.
You bought pre-cut
No,
strawberries?
I cut them and washed
Oh.
them. So like I just had to go in the fridge and grab them.
Mm. I was
So
like, wow, never heard of that. Very innovative.
well, no, and
No.
grocery stores would charge an additional like $4 a pound
100%. Just like they do to get the onions pre-chopped. $7.
for some chopped onions, carrots, and celery.
Ridiculous.
Goodbye. So stupid.
I have yet to make my like first soup of the fall, and that just reminded me of like a good
Oh
like
my
chicken noodle.
goodness.
Like I've saved
Ooh.
so many recipes, it feels like, over the past like few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Will they ever see the light of day?
Probably not.
Who knows? I will tell you, I went to Trader Joe's the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I already have eaten everything that I got there.
Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I got 4 things of soup dumplings. It's like they were never there.
Perfect.
The butternut squash mac and cheese, absolutely divine. Have you had it?
No.
Dude, it's one of their fall items.
Uh-huh.
But it's like a squashy, like cheesy. It's not
Yum.
like, my sister was like, is it sweet? I'm like, no. It's more like a butternut squash ravioli type thing. It's like mixed with the cheese.
Oh, cute.
But it's savory and it's so freaking good. And it's like a microwave meal.
Oh, nice.
So cleared that. The crunchy curls, I love those. They taste like nothing with salt, and it's just so good to me. Finished off those. I got a turkey. They had like a turkey harvest salad, which is like,
Ooh.
yeah, it was like shredded turkey and like some roasted Brussels sprouts and some like cranberries. It's supposed to be like Thanksgiving-esque.
Mm.
Finished off that. And then Oh, I got the mini hold the cones, but the pumpkin spice ones. They're good.
Ooh,
They're really good. They're
yum.
like dipped in like a white chocolate,
Oh,
and then it's like a gingerbread cone, I'm pretty sure.
wow. Very full.
Yeah, those are good. So I've just been like thinking about going back, and I'm like, that's the last thing I need to do is to start a habit of like shopping there consistently. The absolute last thing.
I went back to Aldi for the first time recently.
Oh my gosh, how was it?
It was so nice.
Mm,
Like, I don't know why I took a break from shopping there. I think it's because there are some things that I've been putting on my shopping list that are like niche things
yeah,
that you can like only find on like a major chain. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
like the stuff that I needed, I was like, because I wrote a list down and I was like, I could find this easily. I'm like, this is just basic stuff. And I found everything but like three items, like three or four things.
Hmm.
So it ended up working out exponentially well. And I went a little crazy and went down the miscellaneous aisle.
Ooh,
I
what'd you
got
get?
this like super cute and it's a little casserole dish, but it looks like a pumpkin. I
Precious.
know. I'm not gonna make any casseroles anytime soon, but it's so cute. I had to buy it.
You had to.
Exactly, because my roommate and I were throwing a little like potluck fall potluck day soiree thing, I
Cute.
guess, with me and all of our high school friends. So it's gonna be like because we got inspired by our neighbors. Because our next door neighbors this past weekend, it was she like I finally met them for the first time. I've lived next door to them for 3 years, and we finally met for the first time. Um, I just always miss them. Either that, or we just, or one of those things that like we don't even make eye contact. We just do our own thing in our yards.
Mm-hmm.
But she came up to me. She was like, "Hi, I'm so and so," and she's like, "Yeah, it's my fiance's birthday, and like we're having this big, celebration in the backyard. We're doing hibachi with for all of our
Ooh.
friends, and like they had." They had like the light bulb string lights all around the yard. They had a tent. They had like a full bar, like not just like oh, bring a cooler, BYOB. Like they had a full bar moment happening,
Mm.
and they had a whole hibachi grill back there, and like it was freaking crazy. And then the neighbors next door, because yeah, you've seen our backyard or my
Yeah.
backyard. It's like the fences, or there's no privacy fence. It's like you walk in the backyard and you're, on display for everyone to see at that point. So then the neighbors next to them, it's just like a big group of college kids.
Okay.
And they were all outside. Like, I was up here in my room and I heard, like, yeah, whatever. Like a lot of very masculine testosterone. So I'm like, oh God, what's that? So then I look outside and they all have like a bunch of cornhole boards and they're all playing cornhole. And
Mm.
I was like, and I was talking to my roommate and I was like, we don't do anything in our backyard.
And y'all's backyard is big.
Yeah. I'm like, we don't do anything in our backyard. We have a whole patio, we have a whole back porch and a screened in porch. Our backyard
Mm-hmm.
is huge. I'm like, we don't utilize it at all. So we decided to throw a little soiree. We're telling everybody to bring something. So like bring a little side, bring a main dish, a dessert,
Mm.
whatever, because it's a potluck. So everyone brings something, and then we're gonna have cornhole boards. We're gonna have two sets of cornhole boards. I'm gonna buy these like big bins from the Dollar Tree and have almost like instead of it being like Pong, it's like a bigger version of it. So it's like the big bins and like and like a little mini volleyball or something.
Oh,
So like
okay.
yard pong, I guess, and then a friend of ours has Giant Connect 4 that she's gonna bring. So just a
Fun.
bunch of like yard games, and we're gonna build a fire because it's not until November. So we're gonna build a fire, have lights, and it's gonna be like a super cute and super fun like folly activity.
Oh my gosh, that is so great. Like such good fellowship. Just like being
Yeah.
outside, eating with your good old friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea.
The whole reason I brought that up is because in Aldi I found a tablecloth,
Oh.
and it's green and it has little pumpkins all over, like pumpkins and leaves and stuff. So cute. And I was like, okay, if somebody, because my roommate makes the best buffalo chicken dip.
Oh.
Like, she puts her heart and soul into that buffalo chicken dip. So I was like, this little casserole dish would be perfect for the buffalo chicken dip. Mm-hmm. Yup.
Yummy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really feel like in this economy, like I can't be shopping anywhere other than Aldi.
Yes.
Like, were you happy with the price, like the total of everything when you left? Were you like,
I
wow,
literally, when he told me my total, my jaw dropped because I was like, why did I stop coming here to shop? Like,
right?
it was all of that, even with me going a little rogue and like buying a couple things that like weren't on my list that I didn't necessarily need, but I was like, oh, I could use that. Less than $100.
Always.
Less than $90, actually. I'm like, I bought produce, I brought meat, I bought fruits, cheese,
Mm-hmm.
freaking olives, like
Oh,
cereal,
I love
bread,
olives.
like all of it. I bought so much stuff. Like two big old packs of LaCroix, two different LaCroix flavors, and Capri Sun, like little juice pouch bag things.
Wait, you got the LaCroix flavor that's like the strawberry, like
The
limited edition
strawberry
one. Is
peach.
it good?
It's so good.
Oh, okay, I need to get it.
So if you find it, grab it because I might go back and see because I got the last one that they had.
Okay.
So I want to go to a different Aldi to see if they have it.
Yeah, I saw them in Target like a few months ago in summer. So I thought it was like a limited moment,
It's
but I need to
so
check out Aldi.
good.
Dude, I have not been on my like sparkling water game. I used to have them stocked in my fridge like
Mm-hmm.
all the time. Just like it's such a luxury to just like have cold drinks, you know? Just like something besides water. Just to be able to go in the fridge, just like pop open a little can like a little treat.
My refrigerator right now is like it's like a 7-Eleven.
What do
And
you have?
I freaking love it. I have protein shakes,
Okay.
but like I got the big pack from Costco, so they're like the mini-ish size.
Yeah.
I have protein shakes, I have Diet Coke, I
Mm.
have the Capri Sun juice pouches, I have Alani energy drinks. I have raspberry, like ras cranberry, I think is what it's called. The LaCroix flavor. I have limoncello LaCroix. I have the strawberry peach LaCroix. And then I think my roommate just got mango ones.
Ooh.
Mango LaCroix, which you can only find at Aldi. We can't find it anywhere else but Aldi. Um, and I think that's it for now. But
I
yeah,
think limoncello is like my favorite of all time.
it's so, I always describe it to people as like a creamsicle, except it's lemon.
Yeah, like lemon
Yeah,
vanilla.
exactly.
I'm like,
Yes.
but how? It's like it's more so like the smell of it. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like the taste of it is not super vanilla-y, but it's like it smells sweet. I don't know
Like the
how they do it.
aroma, like the
Yes.
almost like when you're drinking a wine and you're doing the tasting notes. That's how it is for like LaCroix tasting
Yes.
notes.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
getting a hint of vanilla.
I after my first time going to Aldi, I made a video and like fully publicly posted on the internet and was like, I'll never step foot back in there. Like I hate that place. Like
Wow.
people do not know their personal space. Like
Oh
everyone was
yeah.
up in my crack. Like I could not get anywhere. It's like I've come to learn that that's just how it is, and like the prices are so good. I did end up going back, and now like it's the only place I shop. But I feel like it's the only grocery store where people pay no mind to the fact that like you're in that like section looking at something like, oh, like which bread do I want? And they just like come from behind you and just like reach right over your shoulder.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, ugh.
Like hi.
I literally will skip the aisle. I'm like, okay, if someone's there, like I'll come back. You know,
Literally.
that's not the mentality there
Yep.
at all.
Absolutely not. I also hate the fact that the cashiers, they go so fast.
Mm-hmm.
That like I'll put 6 items up and I turn around to grab more and the guy's sitting there staring at me waiting for me to put more stuff on the conveyor belt. I'm
So
like,
efficient.
relax. Like you were so good at your job. Thank you for your service. Like 10-4, but like please chill for a second.
And like getting used to the way that it works at the cash register, like they take your cart and they pull it around the side and they use your cart to like fill up. It's just so stressful. So
I
stressful.
I did this once and then I am ashamed to admit it. I went on Amazon and I bought those little keychains that looked, because sometimes I forget my quarter.
Wait, I didn't know this was a thing.
They don't do it. Spoiler alert, don't do it. They buy, there's these little keychains that people have made, and it's like, it almost looks like, I'm going to grab an item off of my vanity. It almost looks like this,
Okay.
except this part is the shape of a quarter.
Okay.
So then you can stick it in the cart without, and
Uh-huh.
then there's like a little key ring on it to keep on your keys.
Oh.
So I said, in theory, I was like, that's genius. Like, just wait. In theory, I was like, I'm buying a 4-pack. I bought a 4-pack.
Buying a 4-pack.
I bought a 4-pack because I was wholeheartedly going to give one to my mom, and I was going to send one to you.
I love you.
Be glad that I didn't. Like much love, but be glad that I didn't, because the horror when I went through and unloaded everything onto the conveyor belt, not paying attention, and then he had already loaded everything into the second cart.
Uh-huh.
You can't get your quarter out unless you use the little chain link thingy when you put your cart back. So
What?
at that point, I would have had to, at this point, he's giving me a quarter.
Oh.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So then when he loaded everything onto the second cart, I saw the keychain and I went, oh no. And I told the guy, I said, oh, and I said, I have one of those. Yeah. No, I literally said, like, hey, actually, like, that's my, and he said, yeah, those keychains, just like, don't do that. I'm like, you are so right. You are so valid right now. Like, I'm mad at myself. I'm mortified at myself. Like, at this point, you take these groceries home, because then I had to transfer everything from from that cart into the cart with my keychain, because at that point they're giving me a quarter. I got a free quarter, and the next person that pulls up with a cart is getting a keychain. Not
Yeah, and they're gonna be like, what is this?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, you got like a slap on the wrist.
And he was just basically like, if you do this again, he wasn't like, don't ever come back, don't ever, but he was like, if you do this again, just like, give us a heads up. And I told him, I said, like, just like, so then, I honestly don't know. So then we can like move
it'll never happen again.
Like, after like this whole experience, traumatizing. So they could, move the cart with the quarter out of the way,
right,
and just reuse my cart, I guess. So he was like, yeah, he was just like, if you like want to use those keychains, like, that's what you have to do, but like, we really don't like those. And I was like, and I even told him, I said, this will never happen again, I promise.
You will never see me again or this keychain.
No. So I got home. I immediately went, no, not even, I didn't even make it home. I got in my car, typed on Amazon, refund immediately. And I said, no, ma'am. And I took them back, because my mom was expecting me to give her one. And I told her, I said, you can order them yourself, because this whole experience was just truly awful.
I didn't think about the fact that there is going to be a part of it that is stuck in there, because the quarter stays in the cart.
Mm-hmm. Until you put the little like red chain link thing to unlock it. Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Yeah. So,
okay, did you know that they will give you a quarter if you don't have one?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I learned that on TikTok, and I actually had to do it the last time I went to Aldi, because I was fresh out, and so I just like had to go in there. I was like, oh, do you have a quarter? Like one of those, like
like the, can we get?
Yeah. But yeah, she threw me a quarter, and now that I think about it, I definitely did not go back inside and give it back to her. So
at that point,
they gotta like cut their losses. Like,
yeah,
I'm shopping with you.
They have to have a budget set aside for like free quarters for people. Yes. They got to.
Did you see there was a TikTok of this college student? She had to have been a freshman, like fresh out of the bird nest, like just got kicked out. She had to do her laundry in like a community laundry place, and so the machine only took quarters. And she was like getting so sick of like having to scrounge up a bunch of quarters, and went on Amazon and was like, let me just buy like a couple rolls of quarters.
I saw.
And she was She was like, oh my gosh, like this is such a good deal. Like $10 for like 50 rolls of quarters. Like you guys are snoozing and losing. Like purchase. And of course she got the box and it's like all the paper wrapping for like people
Yeah.
who actually roll coins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless her heart. I didn't see the original video, but I saw like a Stitch like react to it. And I was just so appalled that I was like, I can't actually watch the original, or I think I'm gonna like combust by cringing so hard.
So funny.
I hate that.
Yeah, that actually makes me wonder like how my little brother is doing laundry
Right.
because we haven't talked about that.
Oh.
And I know he's like living in a dorm and I just wonder what the laundry situation is.
Right.
No. I
Write
gotta
that
ask
down.
him that.
Think about it.
I mean, I know he's eating ramen for every meal. I already know that.
Bless his heart.
God love him.
Everybody's got to go through it.
You just have to like pay the price. Like,
Yes.
you have to be in the trenches a little bit.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, dude. Prime Big Deals Day. Did you buy anything?
No.
Nothing.
Nada.
Did you even look?
No, ma'am.
Not into it.
Not into it.
Don't need anything.
I should be, but I'm not. I really don't need anything. My mom is on that grind. I will say that. She's like sending me like this mascara that you've used before is on sale. Like, this is like, this, like I bought this mascara, you should buy it too. Like this influencer is blah, 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 whatever. So like she is on that grind. She probably has bought a couple of things. Me, I should have, but I just like, my mind has just been not on it. It's been all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's like I get home and I just want to like rot and stare at a wall. You know what I mean?
Which is fine. Like, don't feel like you have to buy something if you don't necessarily need it. I feel like that's a good practice to preach. Like,
Right.
just because it's Prime Big Deals Day doesn't mean you have to purchase.
What did you purchase?
So far I only purchased espresso, like ground espresso.
Ooh, okay.
I got the Illy brand.
So good.
It's good.
It's
all right.
so good. That's what I used to I'm not balling on a budget now, but before I used to just get Cafe Bustelo. That's what I do. That's what I do now. It's classic. But the Illy brand, if it's on sale at Kroger, I'll buy it.
Yeah, dude, it was let's see how much it was on Prime. Because I ran out of the one that I had and I was looking and I was like, if this is what the Italians use, like it's good enough for me. Okay, it was $11
Okay,
for
that's
8
not
ounce.
bad.
Yeah, I feel like that was okay.
That's good.
And then I have one more thing in my cart that I'm gonna buy after this, but we had a Skin Better rep come to the med spa. So Skin Better is like a brand of medical grade skincare, and the rep will just like come and say like, hey, don't you want to like carry Skin Better? And she'll like show us all her products and whatever. And she did this entire presentation, probably like 45 minutes, and her lip gloss did not budge. And it's like a crystal clear, like shiny, just like so crystal clear. Afterwards, she's like, okay, any questions about the products? I was like, okay, I'm just like waiting for everyone to get their questions out of the way. I was like, hey, what lip gloss are you wearing? Like, really,
Right.
that's all I'm taking from this is like, I need that. And the brand is Torridin. It's Torriden. It's a Korean skincare brand. I'm going to show it here for our like YouTube viewers.
Ooh.
But it's $8.99 and it has raving reviews, 4.5 stars. It's a ceramide lip essence with organic jojoba oil for glowy, dewy, plumped lips. $8.
Love that.
I know. So that is what I'm going to buy as well. I was like honestly waiting to see if it was going to be on sale for Prime Big Deals Day, but it's not.
Oof.
But still $8.99. Like, I'm fine.
Right, that's not bad at all.
No, and like I love a lip gloss. Like I can never have too many. So yeah.
You gotta have a good lip gloss. I need you to watch Love is Blind.
Okay, do I really have to?
Because I've started to watch it, and now I'm on the bandwagon.
My
Now
mom is like, you should talk to my
now
mom about it.
I understand. It's the stupidest show I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
But new episodes just came out today,
Ooh.
so you best believe I'm watching it after we get off of here.
Is it the USA one?
Yeah, they're literally in DC.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
goodness. It's so bad, but it's so good.
Like cringe?
Yes, so
Mm.
cringe. And it's so like it's cringe and manipulative and it's like okay, I'm going to just tell you about some key characters that are in, So there's this guy, his name is Leo, right? Leo is like tall, lanky kind of guy and he is an art dealer. He's 30 years old, he's an art dealer. He talks about how much talking about money makes him uncomfortable because he has a lot of it, but at the same time, he will not shut up about how much money he makes. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
I don't want a girl that's just gonna like be with me because of my money, you know?
but then he'll constantly talk about the Rolex that he has on his wrist
Ugh.
and like that he made that his entire personality. Like, oh, I have a Rolex and I just like, even though I have a Rolex on my wrist, talking about money makes me uncomfortable. I'm incredibly blessed with my Rolex on my wrist. Like, just literally making it his entire personality.
Mm.
And then he was stringing along these two girls at the same time, right? One girl's name is Hannah, and the other girl's name is Brittany, funny enough. So Leo kept talking. So Brittany is like, she talks like this.
Uh,
Like, I liked her. Honestly, roller coasters with Brittany. Not gonna lie to
okay.
you. Roller coasters with Brit. So, like, when she first started, I was like, I don't know how I feel about her. And then towards like this is the first six or seven episodes. It started off as me not sure how I feel. Then it turned into, oh, I like her. To a girl, what are you doing? To then you've got to be kidding me. Like that's where I'm at. And now I'm still at the like I cannot believe that happened kind of thing. So basically, I'm just going to talk about these three people because it was just, well, I guess you could bring in the four, these two separate couples, right? So there's, by the way, spoilers, people. If you haven't watched Love Is Blind, I'm gonna be bringing up spoilers. So anyway, so Leo is talking to Brittany and is also talking to Hannah, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they are all not in. Apparently, they like all talk about it. Like the girls go into like the girls' quarters and the guys goes into the
Yeah.
guys' quarters, and like the guys will kind of bring it up, but they'll just say like, "Oh, my connection," like, "Oh, I already have a number one with my connection." Like they don't really drop names.
Mm, okay.
Leo is dropping names left and right. He's like, I really like Hannah and I really like Brittany, whatever. But then there's this other guy. His name is Nick. Nicky G or Nicky D or whatever. I can't remember. His name is Nick. First of all, the whole point of Love is Blind is to not talk about looks. That's the whole
Mm.
point. This is my first time ever watching Love is Blind. I wanted to jump on the bandwagon and now I understand. So I feel like that's the whole point. You go in the pods and you get to know the person based off of who they are, and then looks as an added bonus, right?
Right.
So Nick and Hannah are talking, and Nick is like, "I look like Henry Cavill. I look better than Travis Kelsey. And I was like, that's a stretch. I was
Are
like,
you sure?
are you sure about that?" But like he's not ugly, but he's
Yeah.
definitely not better looking than Travis Kelsey.
Okay.
And like Henry Cavill, I was like, are you sure about that? Are you absolutely positive? Anyway, I'm just gonna look up a picture of him
Oh yeah, I
and
gotta see
show
him
you.
now.
I cannot believe. Okay, I'm just gonna look
I
up.
agree. I feel okay. So if you don't know what Love Is Blind is, it's a reality show where they talk through a wall. Okay, the girl and the boy. Like they don't see each other until they decide I want to marry you, right? Or like I want to meet you, and like there's
Hmm.
supposed to be a proposal. So I feel like to be behind a wall telling someone, "Oh, I look like so and so," and he sure does not look like Travis Kelsey.
Like he's not ugly.
No, but he's also looks like every other guy to me. Like I don't see him and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Henry Cavill" or whatever. Like,
Exactly. Like he's and the thing that like makes him attractive is like his confidence. Like
Okay.
all of the girls, like honestly, if I was single and I was out and he came up to me, I'd be like, oh, he's not terrible. But then after we would talk, I'd be like, okay, it worked. Like he's very witty, he's charming,
Okay.
confident. So that makes him attractive, right?
Yeah.
So like all of the girls in the pod are like, oh my god, like he's such a flirt. Like the first day they're all coming back being like, this Nick guy is such a like everybody, like he calls himself like Rico Suave, like just so
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, so yeah, Nick is telling Hannah like, oh, I was a professional athlete, blah blah blah. But then I can't remember like how it all ended up working out. I know he's not a professional athlete anymore. He was in like the XFL, which is like the step below NFL, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So XFL is like a completely different league, but it's like you're still like above, but you're not professional kind of thing.
Okay.
So anyway, so he was he was like, I was a kicker and a punter and blah blah blah. So then Hannah is like, oh, I'm like the cheerleader type, like, date the jock and like the star of the football team, blah blah blah, whatever. So then so Hannah is talking to Nick, but then it gets to the point where Nick is like, he's moved on from I'm gonna try and turn on the charm to like, I love you, I'm in love with you, like I don't care what you look like, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you, blah blah blah, whatever. And then Hannah's like, pump the brakes, I feel like you say that to a lot of people, like I'm gonna go, and like breaks it off with him because she
Okay.
also likes Leo the art dealer, but she does not know that Brittany also likes Leo, right? So then Brittany comes back into the girls' quarters because at this point they're all like they've found their person, they've found their number one. But Brittany did not know that Hannah just broke things off with Nick to be with Leo. So then she comes back in the room and she's like, yeah, Leo said. And then she goes, oh, she was like, oh my God. She's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I did not mean to say his name. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, blah, blah, blah. So then Hannah's like, I just broke up with this Nick guy to be with Leo. And now Brittany's number one is Leo. So, like, they're all going back and forth. So then, Hannah's like, you know what? Like, toying back and forth. And she's like, she went up to Hannah. No, Hannah went up to Brittany and was like, I'm going to break up with Leo. She was like, I'm gonna get back together with Nick. And they all had the like jumping up and down, like, we found our people, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, you literally, if you watch clips of it, like, all of them squeal so much. So, like, which is fine, cute, I love that. So, like, anyway, so then Hannah goes into the pods with Leo, right? And she tries to break things off. And she's like, listen, because at this point she had already met with Nick, and she was like, I love you. And Nick was like, yes, I found my woman, I found my wife, I love you, blah, 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 whatever. So then she already decides, like, you're my person, I will marry you. He's proposed. She's like, yes. So then she goes to break things off with Leo. Leo starts to yell at her.
Yell?
Like, full-blown, like, Brittany, I cannot believe, like, no, Hannah, oh my God, like, I cannot believe that this is happening, like, you're gonna base your future husband off of timing, like, what if you were to met up with me first? He was like, what if I were to just get down on one knee right now, like, I love you so much, Hannah, like, I love you, like, and at this point, like, you can physically see that, like, yes, some things are like exaggerated for the show, but like you can see the genuine terror in her face, and she's like shaking and sobbing, and he's just like, Hannah, are you serious? Like, going in on this girl.
No.
And Hannah was like, I have strong feelings for the both of you, but like I feel more strongly with my other connection, and like blah blah blah. And he's just like, well, what if I would have met up with you first? Like, what if you were to meet me first? Like, what if things like were to change and blah blah blah. So then Hannah's like, I can't have this conversation right now. Like, I can't have this. And he was like, Hannah, say something, please, I love you. Like, I'm on my knees right now. Like, just so, like, intense, right?
Yeah.
So then Hannah is actively sobbing,
Yeah.
and she goes back into the room, and she tells Brittany everything. She's like, I just tried to break things off with him, and he basically yelled at me. And she's like, I've never cried that hard my entire life. And, so then Brittany writes this front to back letter, right? So then she goes into the room, and Leo's like, I love you, I love you, Brittany, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, what kind of ring do you want? I want a skinny band with a big rock and, like, gold and bleh, whatever. So then she's like, you really hurt me. And then she reads this letter from front to back, basically being like, you hurt me. How you reacted when Hannah broke up with you or ended things with you, whatever. And she's like, I don't know if I can be with somebody like that. And then he literally says, Brittany, I love you. I love you. And I know you love to hear them when I tell you I love you. Like, I love you. And then she pauses and goes, yeah, I do like to hear it. And I was like, I'm like screaming at my TV. I'm like, stand up.
Seriously, backbone
For
please.
this slender man looking dude. I'm like, stand up, sister. Like, she is, picture time. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, she is, like, stupid pretty. Like, she's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, she's gorgeous.
That's Miss Ma'am. And this is freaking...
He's the one who freaked out.
Yes.
I feel like so after she does this whole letter about, like, your reaction to my friend really hurt me, was like a big red flag. Like, what does he have to say for himself?
Literally, he was just like, I know, but, like, I love you. Like, no accountability, no nothing. And then next thing you know, he's like... And the next thing you know, he's like, will you marry me? Like, he goes through his whole spiel, and she's just like, yes, I'll marry you. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you just wrote this whole freaking letter. And at first I was like, like, woman empowerment, like, this is awesome. Like, she's standing up for herself. Like, I was really fully expecting, like, I'd rather be single than deal with this. Mm-hmm. Blah, 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 whatever. But then no. So then they meet, right?
Uh-huh.
And she, like, he gets on the one knee, puts the ring on her finger. And you can see it in her face that she's, like, looking down at the ring. And she's like, what am I doing? Like, you can see it in her face. Oh. And this dude is, like, basically groping her. Like, he comes and he's, like, at this point, he's super tall. So he, like, towers over this girl, right?
Yeah.
She's in, like, stilettos and he still towers over her. So normally... they meet in the middle, they make out, they hug, the guy gets on one knee, proposes, whatever, and then there's a bench that's in the middle of both pods that they sit and talk and be like, I can't believe it's you, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then they end up going back to her pod with a couch.
Oh, no.
And he is like cupping the back of her head and, like, pulling her in and, like, cupping her face and, like, basically trying to, like, eat her face, and is, like, making out with her. And at this point, he might as well have been straddling her. Like, he
like,
was
dry humping?
basically, like, just, like, very predatorial. And you can just see, and she was like, yeah, like, just very much, like, she was kissing him back, but, like, he was trying to, like, So then, she's like yeah, like, it's crazy that we're here. And he's like, I just want to hold you. And is, like, trying to pull and, like, cuddle on this couch that's, like, a love seat size. Like, not the size for two people. And I was like, I felt so awful for this girl.
What?
And apparently the producers, because there's, like, 7 couples, I think. The producers, there's one couple that don't get to go on the trip. They decide to, like, not air, I guess.
Okay.
So then they said that they wanted to go to Miami instead of, like, Mexico or wherever they were going with all the other couples. So then after basically the grope sesh, and then they both go their separate ways, Leo is like, oh my God, she was so hot. And Brittany was looking down at her hand, and she was like, what did I just do? And then like the text comes across the screen, and it was like, Brittany and Leo went to Miami. They ended their engagement a few weeks later. So we have no idea. I don't
What
know what
happened
no
in
idea.
Miami?
No idea what happened in Miami. Couldn't tell you. But then I promise I'm almost finished. I feel like I'm rambling.
No, I'm into it.
But then Nick and Hannah. So then Hannah goes back and was like, "I love you. Like you're my person. You're the one. You're my best friend. Blah, blah, whatever." So then Nick is like, "I love you, girl. Like I can't wait to see you. Like I don't care what you look like. You're beautiful." Like they had a cute moment because she had lost a lot of weight. Like she was overweight and she had lost a lot of weight. So she was just like, "I'm just worried that you're not gonna like me," and blah blah blah, whatever. So then they meet. So then we'll keep in mind she's wearing like 5-inch stiletto heels, like platform Sabrina Carpenter vibe heels, right?
Mm-hmm.
She looked great. He's not that tall, right?
Okay.
So then doors open on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
He had like looked like he had just smelt the most beautiful smell in the world. Like he was like so happy to see her. And you if you saw her face was like,
no.
and like they like walked up, and you know when you hug somebody that's like either the same height as you or like maybe a little bit shorter and your neck kind of goes like that.
Yeah.
That's how her neck was when they hugged. Her neck was like over his shoulder.
And she wasn't into it.
And he got down on one knee and she put the ring and they
Oh.
put the ring on, and you know, like, and he was just like, "You are so beautiful. Like I knew you would be beautiful. Like, you know, I just like, you're so beautiful. Like I love you." And she's just like, "Yeah."
She's not. Oh my god.
And like they're sitting on the bench and she's like leaning back like this.
Body language says
Body language is
everything.
Everything. So then when they got up and went back to their own pods, when they were walking back down the little runway thing, she did not turn back once. And he kept turning around and looking.
Oh, painful.
And he would keep walking and turn around and look. Keep walking, turn around and look. And then normally, like, when the pod doors close, like, they're all, like, facing each other. They're, "I love you. I can't, like, yeah, like, I do." But she kept her back and, like, walked over to the side.
That just shows you that, like, physical attraction does matter.
Yeah.
It does indeed.
And she's just like, "You know, he said he played football, so I was expecting him to be, like, a little bit bigger and like a little taller." He's like 5'10", 5'11". So she's like, "I was expecting him to be a little bit bigger." And I was like, "Girl, he's a kicker." He's a kicker.
And he told her that?
Yes.
And she didn't. Oh.
I'm like, "Babe, if he was a lineman, like a linebacker,
yeah.
like cuffing season, you get a big boy." You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But now they're in Mexico now. And all the couples are like, you know, there's some couples that are fighting. There's some couples that are just boning every 2 seconds. Like, it's a lot. Obviously, they don't show
So you're
any
already
of it,
like
but...
at the part where they're in Mexico?
Oh, yeah. So
Okay.
at this point, they've been there for a few days. They're like still getting to know each other kind of vibe. And now there's new episodes coming after that.
Oh, so exciting. You're going
And
to watch them tonight?
Maybe. Not all of them. I'm apprehensive about watching them tonight because I know myself and I'm going to stay up and watch them.
Right.
And they're all like hour and some change episodes. So I'm like a little apprehensive, but I might watch The Golden Bachelorette tonight before I go to bed. Yeah, because
How's that going?
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
It's so good. I love all of the men. The guy that I didn't like got sent home. So
Oh, good.
yeah, he just like
Toodaloo.
he displayed some red flags. Very much like a tantrum kind of vibe.
See, that's the thing is with this Leo was the one who had the tantrum, right?
Yes.
It's like you not only are you on live television, but like you're on live television, and this is going to be replayed many times. Like if you can't keep it together for this single moment and your anger gets the best of you that quickly, what are you doing?
Honestly.
Like fake it or something.
Right. Yeah. And it was
Come
just
on.
like the whole thing was just so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable.
Seriously, this girl owes you nothing. This is the whole point of a dating show like this.
Exactly. But I didn't realize that with Love is Blind. I thought that it was just like after the 10 days, like you found the person that you want to get to know more. But it's like, no, like you have 10 days and then you find like your forever fiance, which I find insane.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so it's like that. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
so we're all love bombing here. Perfect. I'm like, you
It's
might as well call it like Love is Bombed or something like that. Love is Bombing.
I saw this girl on TikTok who is watching Love is Blind with like a blanket over her television. Like
I
she
did
is
see that.
yeah, she's doing it as if she was in the pods, like solely by voice only.
Interesting. Ooh,
I know it couldn't be me
fun.
because I'm a little too nosy.
Couldn't be me.
But that just like gives you an idea. Like there's just no way that I could ever say, yes, I would be willing to put myself in that position to like be in an engagement with someone having never seen them before.
Yeah, because for me, like the connection can mean everything, but physical attraction is
I
so
know.
much more. I feel like it makes the emotional connection that much better.
Exactly. And the fact that they're so quick to say like I love you so much, I love you, I love you. Like you've still never seen this person before.
Right,
Like
exactly.
yeah, it just seems a little much for me.
There's one couple that I'm rooting for so hard.
Oh, so there's like some good, wholesome
Yeah.
people on there.
Yes.
Cute.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm watching Tell Me Lies tonight. Girlies, if you're listening and you're watching Tell Me Lies, I have a new episode out.
What is
I think
it?
you would like it. It's a show on
What?
Hulu.
Okay.
It's not like it's about this like narcissistic man. Like he is in his relationship with this girl. They're all in college, and like the way that he like manipulates situations, and it kind of flashes back from like college to 10 years after college, and like people are getting married. So you see like how yeah, it's just you just gotta watch it because
Okay.
my sister was like, Sophia, what is it about? And I'm like, I don't actually know. Like I
Right, you
know
just have
it's
to like
good.
watch
Like,
to see. Right.
yeah, like
I
it's just
gotcha.
so I'm gonna after this I'll probably make myself a little sweet treat, like a little mug cake, like a little
Cute.
like a 1 minute chocolate cake, and have my Tell Me Lies moment. I was gonna say I went to the theater with my dad like a few days ago.
Okay, what'd you see?
We saw Speak No Evil. It's like a horror-ish movie, which it's rated R, and for me, like I'm not into horror movies, but I saw the preview and it didn't have anything paranormal in it, which that's usually what
Okay.
turns me off from like
Same.
horror movies. Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
I don't really want to get in touch with the other side. Like I don't want to do a Ouija board.
No.
I'm okay.
Like I'm not trying to like close my medicine cabinet door mirror and have something behind me. Like I'm
No.
not trying to I'm good. Absolutely not.
So when I saw the preview, I could tell that it was more just like intense. Like
Okay.
what happens basically is this couple becomes friends with another couple while they're on vacation.
I have seen this preview.
Yes, and the couple like invites them back, and then they're like, these people are a little bit weird. Like they could be axe
Yes.
murderers, and like potentially they are. But it was good, dude. It wasn't like I said, like paranormal or anything. And there were some pieces that are like a little bit gory, but it wasn't like like an alien eating someone's face off type gory. It was
Right.
like fighting for your life type gory.
Gotcha. Survival instincts.
Yes, and it was
Gotcha.
just so good. And my dad and I were like watching it, and I could see like out of the corner of my eye, he was like, like it was like so intense at some point, you know.
Right.
Like, I just love to see that. But yeah, I put down here like I went to the theater. I just love going to the theater. I feel like it's such like a great experience, you know.
I've never been by myself and I want to so bad one day.
Oh, you should.
I know. Get
It is
myself all
sweet.
like super comfy cozy and just go.
Yes, and go to one of the ones that like offers the food. They have that one at yes, Cinebistro.
For sure.
My mom still says that was like the best salmon of her life. They had like some sort of salmon dish there, and she to this day is like fantastic.
Love that. I may
Okay.
need to take that up. I will never forget. Was it you and I that went that one time?
I can't
And this
remember.
poor man was vegan. I think it was the only time that I've ever been was when I was with you.
Okay.
We went to Cinebistro and there was a guy sitting a couple like seats down
Uh-huh.
and he was vegetarian.
Uh-huh.
And he was looking at the menu and he was like, I'll take this. And they're like, we're out.
Oh, yes, that was a.
Do you
They're out of
remember
like
that?
everything. Yeah.
And then he's like, well, he was like, what do you have? Like, and then, and literally they had no vegetarian options. They're like, we have popcorn.
Oh, perfect.
And he was like, he goes, well, then I guess I'll just get some popcorn. And because I just
Oh
like
my
watched
god.
this, because I feel for the guy being like
Mm-hmm.
so frustrated, being like, what the heck, like you don't have any vegetarian options, like you didn't prepare for this, like kind of
Yeah.
thing. But then I also feel for the server because it's not the server, like it's not under their control, they're just the messenger. So I can
Yeah.
only imagine them being like, we don't have that either.
Yeah.
Like,
I really hate to tell you this, but
I'm gonna hold my hand I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this. We don't have that either.
oh my gosh, that's
Awful.
funny. I think that was us because I remember we were waiting outside, like before we got let into the theater. We had to like sit at a bar stool or something, or
We
like a
were
table.
sprinting in there because we were almost late, remember?
Oh yeah, they're so crazy about the time.
Yeah,
Like they
so
will not serve you food if you're not there.
yeah, so we were like sprinting through the parking lot to get to the movie theater.
They were so dirty for that.
I
I'll never forget.
know.
I was literally 1 minute late. It was like the cutoff was like 6:15. I got there at 6:16. She was like, "Sorry, you'll have to like come out. Like you have to. You don't get the experience of like sitting at your chair and getting waited on. You have to like come out to the front, order, and then come back in like 20 minutes and like pick back up your food. Like, no, I'm okay. I think I just was like, I'll suffer, actually. Usually in situations like that, I'm
Suffer.
like, I'll just literally suffer. About to plug in my computer. Um, well, yeah, that was really all I had to say. Oh, did you see the stuff on TikTok about the passing of that TikToker Taylor Rousseau? Or did you follow her on TikTok?
No.
I followed her for a while, but basically she passed away and it's kind of like everywhere now. Like even like
Yeah.
People magazine and like E were reporting on it and stuff like that. And she was really big in like the Western community. I think she started the phrase like buckle bunny, which is like,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
oh yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that's a pretty common phrase.
Right. Or at least that was like kind of her personal claim to fame. But like she had a million something followers. And she was definitely not without drama, like in her time on social media. And like there were a lot of girls who were super, super mean to her. But she never really came out and said what disease she was struggling with or what sickness.
Okay.
But she did tell people that like there were periods of time where she was like in the hospital for a while and like got down to
Wow.
like 90 pounds and was just like didn't know what was wrong with her and just like a medical mystery type thing. And then of course there were a lot of people who were like, "You're not sick, like you're lying, you're doing this for clout." Oh yeah. And I'm like, okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
how do you
Wow.
feel now that she has died? So
Yeah.
hope you're
Let's see. Eat your
happy.
words.
Hmm.
Hello?
Um, but her husband and her had just gotten married. They celebrated like their
Oh,
1 year anniversary in August. And for most of their marriage, she was sick and like she's like at some point she couldn't even like walk to the mailbox. Like
bless her
I think
heart.
it had to have been some sort of like autoimmune disease or something where
Yeah.
like her body is like fighting itself.
Mm.
But it's so like shocking to me because she posted videos at the beginning of September and like mid-September and stuff, and she
Right?
looked fine and like she was smiling and her hair was good and her makeup was good, her skin was good, and then like within a week or two she's like passed away. I'm like, just as like I want to know what happened. I will never go online and be like, "Hey, does anyone know what happened?" Like when the family's
Hello?
ready.
Right.
But it to me, I'm just like it's so hard to wrap my mind around it. So her husband posted a picture basically being like Taylor's, earthly body has failed her, but now she's in heaven, like dancing in the streets of gold.
Amen.
And yes, like, and
Amen.
she was very devout in her faith, like always was like, I know I'm going to heaven. I know that
Oh.
this earth is like just a short time versus like all the time that I'm going to spend in eternity, like with God. And so, oh yeah,
Wow.
she was, and there were a lot of videos now that have resurfaced since she passed of her, like, if I die young, like, wear this to my funeral and like give my boutique to someone who loves clothes and like
Oh,
someone take care of my mom, like,
hi.
tell her, I know,
Good
So,
Lord.
yeah, she has always been like okay with the fact that she might pass young, but I don't think she'd always struggled with this disease. So it's like it's not eerie, but it's kind of like wow, like she almost kind of
Yeah.
knew. But yeah, I have been like checking her husband's Instagram page just for like updates and stuff. You would not believe the disgusting comments. They're from the South, they're from Texas. He hunts, okay? Like
Oh, here we go.
yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
He had posted pictures with like some wild boars that like him and his buddies had like shot, like, hunting like people have done for like
Yeah.
centuries. The comments, this is disgusting. This is karma. How could you do this? Of course your wife died. Like, are you going to pose with your wife's dead body like this? Like, the most insane off the wall comments. Oh yeah, just because he hunts.
Where do you Okay.
Like where's the correlation?
Right. And like where do you think if he killed her, that's a completely different story.
Right.
But she died of an illness.
Mhm.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Perfect.
I was like,
Perfect.
what is this, like, getting to choose when you have empathy for people or not? Like,
Exactly.
his wife died tragically, unexpectedly. They're young. He's 24, she's 25, and now he's a
Bless his
widow. And people
heart.
are so quick to go on his Instagram and just absolutely berate him for hunting. Like, it's not even
That's
illegal.
insane.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you think food, clothing, things come from? You gotta kill an animal or two. They breed like crazy. Hello?
Yeah, and they're wild boars as well. Like, they're an invasive
Exactly.
species. There are many counties who have like bounties. Like, we need to kill like this many boars this season, or else they will tear up our fields, tear up our crops. Like, do this, do
Right.
that. Like, that. It's just
That's
how it's
actually
been. Like,
insanity.
literally always how it's been.
I
Like,
really feel like there needs to be like some sort of like repercussion for some sort of comment like that. Like it shouldn't stop at the, there shouldn't be a line. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be, oh, this person doxed where I live, my address, they're like threatening me and my family. Like that's an actual threat. But it's
Yeah.
like, but comments like that, like, are you going to pose with your dead wife's body? Like, and the fact that there's no sort of repercussion for that.
oh yeah. How does that comment go through? I know you and I have commented back stuff, and you've probably gotten your comments taken off for like the stupidest reasons. Like,
Yes.
I said something like "get well soon, heart," and it's like, this comment's a community guidelines violation.
Explain.
Where? Like, what? And then these other people are like, you had this coming, like, you're a murderer, like this.
Ooh,
Yeah. Oh, I know.
That gives me chills, but like not in a good, like no good chills.
in the absolute worst way. But
Oh,
yeah,
God.
there is a GoFundMe up for her because she had been sick like most of their marriage. They were like living in a camper at this point. Like they had to
Wow.
like sell like their house, like they didn't have many belongings. At some point like their insurance dropped them, and so
Oh.
she was going in the hospital for like
Great.
days on end and
Dang.
didn't have insurance. So you can imagine their medical bills are just like astounding. And now they have to pay for a funeral and all that. So
Jeez.
I'll put the GoFundMe link in like the YouTube description if anyone wants to like take a look at it.
Jeez Louise, that's so heartbreaking.
I know, right? Like they're just so young. Like I cannot imagine being
I
his
cannot
age.
imagine. I can't. That's
Yeah. Being a
that's so
widow at
tragic.
24 is
oh
just
my goodness.
unreal.
That's quite literally awful.
I know, and his post was so like positive and joyful with all things considered because like he was just so happy that she's not in pain anymore and just like I mean, and he's been by her side, like so he really
Yeah.
knows, and she didn't really again tell the internet much of like her true diagnosis, and we only get a glimpse as like viewers.
Right.
So I could tell that he was just like okay with it. Like he's like, this is really sad, of course, but he knows that she's in a much better place and like
For
she's where
sure.
she's always wanted to be and she's not like struggling anymore, which so
Jeez.
crazy, dude.
That's so sad.
I know.
Makes my
So-
heart hurt so bad.
I know. I just wanted to like bring that up a little bit if anyone had
Yeah.
seen it, and then also to kind of push out there like GoFundMe and things like that. Not my grandmother just texting me K, like I just like what time are you coming tomorrow? I was like, oh, IDK, like I guess 11:30. K.
Okay, so you hate me.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to talk about that tomorrow.
So you hate me. I'm gonna need an O in front of that K. Okay?
Yeah, just like something, like give me something.
Give me a little bit extra.
All right, guys.
To end on a high note, go
Yeah.
make your mug cake.
I will do. What's
need
your
to eat
favorite sweet
something
treat
else.
gonna be?
I don't know. I'm still hungry though. That grilled cheese did not hit. I mean, it did. It was fantastic, but I don't know. I'm thinking about a bowl of cereal.
Yum.
Good old Frosted Flakes.
Yes.
That low-key sounds fire. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, go get it.
Yup.
Okay,
and
we
I'm gonna
love
watch
you guys.
Golden Bachelorette. All right, everybody.
Bye.
All right, bye.